At 65, I didn't feel like a man anymore. I was weak. My shoulders ached just reaching for the kitchen cupboard. My knees complained every time I got out of the car. My core? Non-existent. I struggled to get out of a chair without using both hands. I wasn't just losing strength. I was losing myself. The doctors said it was normal, that things slow down after 60, that you shrink, that you need to accept your limits, but something in me refused to accept that. One evening, I looked at myself in the mirror and thought, is this it? Is this how I go out? Soft, hunched, invisible. That was the moment I made a decision. I didn't want to train like a young bloke. I wanted to rebuild, on my own terms. And that's exactly what I did, with just 4 simple exercises. No gym, no machines, no gimmicks. I'm not promising miracles. I didn't suddenly build 50 semi-trottor arms or deadlift 180 kilos. But what I gained was far more valuable. Control over my body, confidence in every step, and the ability to move without fear or hesitation. This video is for every man out there who feels like his best years are behind him. I'm here to tell you, that's not true. These 4 exercises didn't just rebuild my muscles. They gave me back my dignity. They helped me restore my posture, stabilize my joints, and activate muscles I hadn't felt in decades. But I'll be honest, exercise 3 made the biggest difference. It's the reason I get out of bed in the morning without groaning. If you only have time for one move today, start with that one. So stick around. In just a few minutes, I'll walk you through each of these movements, why they work, how to do them safely, and the mindset that changed everything. Because you're not done yet. Not even close. Exercise 1, chair squats, to rebuild leg strength and balance. There was a time when just standing up from the couch felt like a workout. My thighs trembled, my knees ached, and I'd instinctively push off with my hands, like a man twice my age. It didn't feel right. I hated the feeling, like gravity was winning. Then I started doing chair squats. Simple? Yep. Easy? Not at first. I placed a sturdy chair behind me, stood with feet shoulder width apart, and slowly lowered myself, chest up, knees tracking over toes. Then I stood back up, without using my hands. That was it. That's the move. But don't underestimate it. This single movement woke up my thighs, hamstrings, glutes, and more importantly, my sense of control. Chair squats gave me confidence in my legs again. I stopped avoiding stairs. I stopped dodging curbs. My knees felt supported, not strained. And the balance? This exercise taught me to trust my body again, to move with intention. I started with 5 reps, short rest, then 5 more. Over time, it became 3 sets of 15 reps. Eventually, I didn't need the chair, but I'll never forget how crucial it was in the beginning. If your legs feel weak, start here. This move gave me my independence back. Exercise 2. Loaded carries. Strength that transfers to real life. This was the missing piece. The exercise that pulled everything together. I didn't find it in the gym. I found it while carrying 2 heavy shopping bags from the car into the house. That day, I realized what functional strength really meant. So I turned that moment into a habit and began purposely adding loaded carries to my routine. Here's how it works. Grab 2 medium weight items, dumbbells, shopping bags, water jugs, anything with a handle. Hold them by your sides, stand tall, brace your core, and walk. That's it. Walk slowly and with control, shoulders back, chest up. What looks like a simple farmer's walk is actually one of the most effective full-body exercises a man over 60 can do. It trains your grip, forearms, shoulders, core stability, hips, and even your mental focus. It forces you to stay composed under load, just like life itself. And maybe most importantly, it gave me confidence in the little things again, lifting a suitcase, taking out the bins, carrying the grandkids. That's real strength. Strength you actually need. I started with 20 steps, then a short rest, and repeated. Over time, I increased the weight, the distance, and also the pride I felt after each round. If you want to feel strong not just during training, But in daily life, carry something heavy and carry it with purpose. Exercise 3. Wall push-ups to rebuild upper body strength safely. When I first tried a regular push-up at 65, I collapsed halfway down. My wrists hurt, my shoulders wobbled, and I felt more embarrassed than anything. I thought, maybe I really am too old for this. Then I discovered wall push-ups, and everything changed. Instead of pushing off the floor, I stood an arm's length away from the wall, placed my hands shoulder-width apart, and slowly leaned in. Controlled, focused, no joint pain, no ego, just movement. What this exercise did for me was incredible. It reactivated my chest, triceps, and shoulder stabilizers, muscles that had gone dormant from years of desk work and inactivity. It also improved my posture, pulled my shoulders back, and reminded my body how to show up like a man. I started with 10 reps. That was my limit. But within weeks, I was doing 3 sets of 20 with ease, and feeling stronger every time I looked in the mirror. It wasn't flashy, but it worked. If you haven't done a push-up in years, this is your way back in. And trust me, once you've got this down, the floor push-up won't seem so intimidating anymore. Exercise 4. Dead hangs. The exercise that changed everything. This was the turning point. I'll never forget my first attempt at a dead hang. I grabbed a horizontal bar at the park, lifted my feet just a few centimeters off the ground, and within 5 seconds, my hands started to give out. My shoulders screamed, my core trembled. And yet, something inside me woke up. Dead hangs are as raw and real as it gets. Just you, your body weight, and gravity. But don't let the simplicity fool you. This single move trains grip strength, shoulder stability, spinal decompression, mental resilience, all at once. As I hung there, day after day, something shifted. I stopped feeling fragile. My posture improved. My upper back and arms started to look different. I stood taller, not just because of the stretch, but because I finally felt strong again. And the most surprising part? My back pain started to disappear. Years of compression from sitting, stress, and poor posture, slowly unwound by 20 seconds of hanging per day. I started with 2 sets of 10 seconds, then 15, then 30. I wasn't chasing reps, I was chasing resilience. If you want one exercise that uncovers hidden strength inside you, start hanging. You'll feel it in your grip, and soon you'll feel it in your life. You don't need 20 fancy exercises. You don't need machines, supplements, or a gym full of mirrors. What you need is commitment. What you need is consistency. And sometimes all it takes is doing 4 simple movements with intention to change the course of your life. I didn't become a warrior overnight. At first, I didn't even believe I could be one. But every time I pressed against that wall, every time I stood up from that chair, every time I hung from that bar or carried that weight, I built more than just muscle. I rebuilt the man I thought I'd lost. And maybe that's where you are right now, looking in the mirror at a body that feels unfamiliar, limited, maybe even defeated. But I promise you this, you're not done, because strength has nothing to do with age. It shows up when you get up, even when no one's watching, when you fight for the version of yourself that wants to live, to contribute, to be unshakably strong. You're not broken, you're not too late, and you're not weak. Not if you choose to rise. So start with 1 rep, just 1, and then another. Soon you won't just feel stronger, you'll feel unstoppable. The warrior in you is waiting. All you have to do is show up. If this video spoke to you, if even one of these exercises showed you that strength is still possible, don't keep it to yourself. Hit subscribe. I share videos like this every week, especially for men over 50 who refuse to fade away quietly. Leave a comment below and tell me, which of the 4 exercises will you try first? I read everyone, and your story could inspire another man to start. And if you're ready for the next step, check out the linked video right here. A complete 10-minute beginner home workout that builds on exactly what we covered today. Because this isn't the end, It's the beginning of a stronger, more capable, timeless you. Let's keep building together.